That's Friday night. Now to Saturday twilight. The Giants are replenishing and the Tigers are losing man after man. What an intriguing clash this shapes as and Jack Revolts. He sounded the warning. Don't doubt the Tigers just yet.
The challenge is there for us. It's opportunity. Guys will need to step up in leadership capacities. Of course, I'd love to be out there playing. Of course, Alex would love to be out there playing as well, but there's no point focusing and dwelling on the fact that we aren't. Something about Australian culture and the underdogs. I think there's a lot of people out there that have written us off. Be wary.
Be wary. Let's head to Rosehill Racecourse, one of my favourite places.
Oh, it's all about you, Jared.
The Giants' best and fairest for the AFLW team is being staged. One of the assistant coaches was Brett Delidio, so with an eye towards that and an eye towards what's to come on Saturday. Brett, welcome to AFL 360.
Thank you, gents. Thanks for having me on.
Just set the scene for us for this game on Saturday with the way the Tigers are and with what you're hoping to be this season at the Giants.
Oh, look, I think we'd be very silly for us to underestimate the Tigers. They've shown over the last couple of seasons that they've got a great system, very well coached, and although they're missing, Ranty, who's an absolute jet, and Jack as well, and obviously Grimesy down that back end as well. So look, it's as I said, very silly for us to underestimate these guys. So we will be wary, Jack. Don't worry about that.
And what about what you've done so far? How you've been able to measure it? Tremendous in round one, and the premiers in Perth in round two. What have you made of the Giants' start?
Yeah, look, I thought as you said, we started really well in round one and played a brand that we were really proud of. But we let a few things slip on the weekend over in Perth. But yeah, I think West Coast, they'll be right up there when the whips are cracking later on in the season. But, we really pride ourselves on challenge and, those good sides and expect to play well against the good sides because we want to be up there as well. So a few things to learn on and to work on, and yeah, hopefully we can amend those this weekend.
Brett, you're one of the assistant coaches up there as well as playing. I'm sure you would have watched Collingwood perform against Richmond last week. How did you rate the Pies' performance, and do you take much from their performance in taking away the strengths of Richmond?
Yeah, I certainly did watch the game. I still got a lot of mates there, so I watched plenty of the Tigers games, to be honest. I think, the way the Pies play, you certainly do take bits out of it because the Tigers haven't lost many games in the last couple of years. So any time someone does beat them, you analyse it and take little pieces of it. But, we'll bring our own game as well and, hopefully use a few pieces of Collingwood's play that they use, but yeah, certainly the Pies did play well, so we'll see how we go on the weekend. And
when I said assistant coach, I obviously meant the AFLW coach. How has that helped you, and how has it assisted you in being a better player? Always I hear former players say, God, when I got into coaching, I learned so much about the game. Have you learnt about playing your own game by coaching the women's team?
Yeah, I have. Look, I found that I've absolutely loved working with the girls because they're just sponges and they take on everything you say. But you also you work on your delivery and how you you get your message across. And I've really used that when I'm talking to younger players or even to our midfield group or even our whole group when I'm speaking. And just how you try and get your point across and make sure that everyone understands what you're saying.
Do you think Shane Mumford will play?
I think he'd have to be a fair chance, Jared. He's been training incredibly well and playing really well in the practice matches. He also told me that he needs the match payment to cover that fine that he got in the early one that he in the early part of the season. So, yeah, I think he'd be a good chance. But Dawson Simpson's certainly been playing some good footy as well.
Hey, Lids, you're coming towards the end of your career. I don't know if it's going to be the end of this year, it could be the end of next year. How's the body going into this new season, and how it is 2 games in? And do you have a sense of, what, time is absolutely running out, and this might be the last shot? Is that how you're looking at it or not?
Yeah, pretty much on the money. Look, I'm just enjoying every, session and game that I get to play, because I've missed so many in the last 2 years that I'm just loving being a part of it. And look, the body doesn't pull up as well as it used to, that's for sure. I used to get away with cutting quite a few corners back in the day, but not anymore. So yeah, look, I'm having to put a lot more time into my recovery and spending time on the physio bed, but I'm loving every part of it, knowing that the end is nigh, and I'll soon be maybe coaching or doing something of the like. But yeah, enjoying being a part of the boys at this point.
Well, it's a terrific game. It's one that will absorb and I suppose provide a real pointer for us all. So the best of luck for it, Brett, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Not a problem, boys. Thanks for having me. Brett
Delidio, who's there at the AFLW Giants Best and Fairest at Rose Hill. Right, shall we get to it?
We've got the next 30 minutes are going to be brilliant.
The captain's running, then the killers are going to join us. So Nick and Bob go first as they cast an eye towards what happens inside the four walls at this stage of the season.